Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. How's your day going? How's your evening going? How's your morning going? What's going on, guys? So in this video, I'm going to give you guys a reaction towards the microwave art drama breaking the art community on TikTok by no other than Muhammad, and I'm not going to butcher your last name, all right? Like always, I always put his original video in the description below, and I did see your comment. I really appreciate the love and support, man. I mean, I know this I got a small channel. It's gonna take a while before I get to where you're at, hopefully, right? I'm not into the whole instant gratification. You know, I'm an old man, so I'm willing to go through step by step, like the tortoise in the hay. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a turtle, take it in one step at a time, you know, but I really do appreciate it. And for those guys who don't know, I'm an artist, right? I do a lot of digital and traditional illustrations. These are the recent digital illustrations that I have done. So if you want any type of characters that you guys want me to design in the future, throw the suggestions in the description, the comment section down below, all right? So without further ado, people, we gotta get it started, all right? So let me turn off the background music, and like Mario, let's go.
These short, quick turnaround animations of original characters from artists on TikTok are being cancelled by other artists on TikTok. Shocking. The art community is apparently getting mad and calling people who make these animations fake artists, inciting things like remote cyberbullying and a mild but probably warranted amount of hate to them. Let's talk about it.
Interesting.
Good evening or morning, depending on what corner of the flat earth theory you're watching my videos from. Today we have a rather interesting situation on our hands that has been causing quite the stir in the art community on the internet. A new form of animating OCs has hit the World Wide Web by storm, and artists and their kind posting videos of their OCs spinning around from chin to hairline, showing off all their unapologetic features, and the artists who made these supposed animations are basking in all the glory that comes with internet virality. But the fairly large amount of people who watch my videos and are fortunate enough to not be chronically online as myself and other fellow yappers on YouTube, the character turnaround animation art trend, or microwave art trend like the big brain philosophers on TikTok.
And that's not even considered art. If you're taking somebody else's OCD, in case you don't know what that is, that's original character design, right? So what's happening, based upon what Muhammad is saying, is that on TikTok, you have other people, right, taking somebody else's original character design and turn it into this type of AI with animation. And they're the ones who are basking in the credit for that, while the originator who originated the character design is not getting the credit at all. So that's literally, technically, you're stealing somebody else's work and you're getting notoriety from that.
TikTok call it, is a new trend that has taken over the platform in style. The trend involves drawing or painting your OC and then making them spin around so we get to see a full 360 view of all their details. But while a normal person would otherwise assume most of the people participating in this trend were actually drawing all these animations by themselves, it would be to their utmost disappointment to find out that a lot of these artists participating in this trend were using a new AI app to animate their characters so they could also go viral.
Here's how the average man's life would change if he
Speaking
never
of
saw
AI,
again.
that voice is
Day
AI.
one,
Speaking of the
install
average
Pi on
man
his
of
computer
changers,
without
this is when
spending
you
a
gotta
dime.
skip the ad. So correct me if I'm wrong, right? Maybe I'm reading this wrong. So even the people who made the original character design, they're using the AI. Well, I'll most likely, once I hear more on the video, I'll have more clarity. So let's continue. Ah, okay, I see what they're doing. So they're using a platform in which the AI is able to turn that into 3D. So it composites everything. Interesting. Wow. How crazy is that?
As you will automatically assume, artists on TikTok were not happy about this.
Let me read it. To be honest, AI can be good, but when it's used to make fake art, books, and replacing actual jobs, then it's a problem. They should have never released it to the public, and it should have just kept it to help with collecting data or science. And I can't agree with that anymore. I absolutely agree with that. It should be used as that or inspiration, or to be used as a reference, but not so much of like making final works of art. So whether or not the original person who created, the original artist who made the original character designs is utilizing the AI to rotate 3D as, you know, as a tool, regardless, either that or someone took the original character design and made that into that 3D, 3D visual art. Regardless, it's like they didn't actually make the 3D by hand. It is the tool, right? It is AI that's actually creating that
situation and began making videos calling out other artists using AI to make animations for the trend. This artist, who was disgusted with the trend and how artists were using it trying to go viral, said they were disappointed in the artists themselves and claimed they shouldn't have made it to go viral in the first place. Their video had almost 2,000 comments, with other young artists on TikTok totally pissed off and sharing a few pieces of their mind about the entire situation. I mostly see gacha creators doing the microwave trend and use AI to cover their laziness and hypocrisy. People are just greedy and spoiled by technologies these days. They don't even want to do anything one by one anymore. People aren't seeing the bigger picture. Yes, AI can help artists who are learning, but by using the tool more and more, it becomes smarter and more refined, leading to a future where it could easily...
Yep, it's literally like if you think about Dragon Ball Z with Perfect Cell, right? He gathered all of the information from the Z fighters, right? Cell in general. So it's the same thing, but in AI form in real life. You know, like the more information we feed into the digital art and digital pieces, the more it becomes more sophisticated and sophisticated to the point where the lines are blurred between, is this done by hand or is this done by AI? And if it gets even more blurred, then we are all expendables, right? And this is a big issue, not just with artists, but just jobs in general. We are feeding the beast, and eventually the beast will overcome. And this is why it's good to have your own voice, do things beyond just becoming a tool, become more human, make things that AI can never replace. You know, don't just become better and better as far as refining your skills. Also, have some imperfections that is a stylized version of your personality. Your personality and who you are counts the most, especially in this day and age.
Replace the same artists who used it to learn. That's why it's just better to learn with actual 360s created by real people and other traditional methods. Y'all say you hate AI until it selfishly benefits you. This person clearly had a lot on their mind and spared no quarter serving each defendant a bitter taste of prosecuting the case. And the funny thing is, they're absolutely right. Most of the people who were using AI for the trend probably don't know how to animate their character by hand because...
Okay, so now we know that it wasn't people stealing someone else's art and making it into this 3D render. It is the actual artist using the AI platform. So it is very hypocritical. But to be fair, I use AI as far as just the background, I blur it out, right? But I don't utilize AI as a visual hierarchy. In other words, the character designs are all made from scratch. The AI is just a background because I'm not a background designer, and I blur out the background so the hierarchy is the character design. But this is different. This is like, you know, seeing the characters that I've made, whether it's original character designs like the Muscle Mommy or Gojo, right? And then using that plugin as for the AI plugin and then making that 3D. Like, I'm not going to feel like I made that work of art. Why? Because I did not create the 3D element, you know? And people could argue by saying, well, it's a tool, right? I'm not a 3D artist. I'm using it as a tool. And I get it. I get it. But then the issue is that the visual hierarchy is the character that you made, right? If you would have said, hey, man, I'm just using the 3D background as a tool, but all the other stuff that's in the foreground I made from scratch, that's different, right? Especially if the foreground is bigger than the background. The background is just a default thing, right? It's okay to have assets, right? And samples. But when you have a character, nah. And you can't even consider yourself, you're not a 3D artist. The AI did it for you. So it's crazy that they have this now. This is why I like watching Muhammad's content, because I learn about what's going on in today's age as far as like TikTok and things of that nature.
Because if they did, they wouldn't even have bothered using AI for the trend in the first place. Learning how to draw your character from any different angle and practicing how to draw their features and turn them around in three-dimensional space is a good way to get better at drawing and improve your knowledge of proportions and forms. Using AI literally takes away that entire process and ends up leaving you as clueless about forms and proportions as you were when you tried to use AI in the first place. To my sheer surprise,
now to use it as a reference, that's one thing, right? Let's say if you're not really good at drawing 3/4 views, if you're gonna plug in your character design and use as a plugin to make it into a 3/4 view, and then you use that to draw as reference, that's fine. That's a good tool. So I'm not discarding it if you're using it like that. But to make it as a finished product, even though you did not make it into that 3/4 view or the back view, that's when it becomes an issue, in my opinion. Because you did not do it the natural way.
An unexpected bewilderment, a rather large amount of people under the comments of this TikTok were all in support of using AI for the trend, calling the creator of the video childish just because they shared their opinion about the situation. This is a childish take. Get out of your emotions, dude or dudette. It's not the tool that's bad, it's the people using it, and it's being used to spin things around. Like, why are you mad, child of God, by the way? I actually don't hate AI. It kinda helps in some way, but some people literally use it for something bad. It's such a non-problem to use AI for TikTok as long as you don't sell it to real-life customers. So you all need to stop whining when a person is using it on TikTok. It's their art, not
It still is an issue, because once that becomes culturally acceptable, then for those people who are conservative with the old school way of doing things, eventually they're going to sell out in order to adapt. So that is an actual problem. Again, a tool, perfectly fine. But if you've never done it from scratch, that's an issue. And it's going to bite you in the butt in the future. Because let's say if they want you to draw X, Y, and Z, and you're going to become so lazy and dependent on AI. And while you're dependent on AI, eventually it's going to get to the point where people don't need to be artists in order to produce this amount of work. So then your value as an artist start to diminish even more.
Not yours. Many other comments on the video all seem to be suggesting,
to be honest, AI can be good, but when it's used to make fake art, books, and replacing actual jobs, then it's a problem. They should have never released it. Oh, didn't I read this? I read this, right? It sounds like I read this already. Okay, they should have never released it to the public. It should have been kept for collecting. Yeah, I read that already. This and the fact that people have the audacity to tell me that it's not serious, like, hello, question mark,
that using AI to animate your OC was a rather fun way of improving and wasn't harmful or stealing art from others, because apparently
it's not that deep, bro. I don't hate AI, just understand its cons, but use ChatGPT anyway because it helps me when I'm stuck. Cough, cough, the millionth bug in my code. The fact that you had to put not AI to let people know that your drawing isn't AI is crazy. We're going to get to that point. Seriously, we got to get to that point, right? They might even have like an AI watermark or something like that, where it's like, this is made by AI watermark. And if it don't have that watermark, then you know it's legit.
it was automatically safe. Some people also said they were using AI to help improve their art and learning how they could draw their character from different angles since they couldn't see it or visualize it in their head. And like, isn't that the entire purpose of studying anatomy and learning how to draw perspective?
I get what you mean. I definitely agree with Muhammad when it comes down to that. I still understand their perspective too, pun intended. With that whole 3/4 view, I'm still old school, right? So actually do it yourself, you know, than to rely on having something already made for you. Because yes, long term it will affect you. However, if you're struggling that much with 3/4 view of characters, let alone character designs, then it doesn't hurt. I'd rather have that in terms of the latter compared to look at my finished work of art that AI did for me in 3D motion, you know?
It appears each day the art community sinks lower in the cesspool of doing anything to go viral, and now we have people applauding the use of AI to make animation instead of encouraging others to actually learn how to animate by hand. Times are really changing, I can tell. Judging from how much art had already been used to train different AI models which are all easily accessible on the internet, it wouldn't be too hard for an AI to complete an image or...
And the one thing too that's weird about all of this is that it's limited. And that's the beauty of it right now. Because it's all it's doing is just this. That's it. So you can't really export this and turn it into like, you can't rig it and start doing things of that nature. It just gives 3D. Great if you want to use it as reference, but again, they all do the same rotation, so it's very lackluster, right? Funny enough, even though it's 3D, it's very flat.
Animation because they could literally pull information from thousands of other sources and data sets needed to complete a turnaround, which was basically the argument people were making.
AI still, that is creepy.
Trend, especially since the more artists were feeding their art into these AI generators to animate their drawings, the more data the AI could harness and learn off of to quote-unquote improve their animations. One artist on TikTok who had metaphorically had it all to their nose with all the AI filth that was being passed around posted a video complaining about the microwave art trend, calling artists who use AI to do the trend literal male cow dung.
Let's wait for the ad to go away. Can't skip it. All right, let's go.
Use AI to do the microwave trend are so full of BS. Like, what do you mean by I just wanted to see what my art will look like in the microwave trend? You are an artist. The microwave spin is literally one of the basic skills you learn as an artist. And let's be honest, most of y'all have drawn your ox in every angle known to man. You have no excuse for being lazy and not drawing for frames in angles you've drawn before and flipping them around to just create 8 frames of a spin cycle. But I just did it for fun, okay. But when you do that and post it publicly, don't be surprised on why you will be called an AI artist. Not to mention some people have...
Yeah, that is one of those weird things. Again, whether someone is stealing someone else's art and then doing the rotation, or you did it, you made the artwork yourself, and then, you know, you have it in rotation. Regardless, it's like you posting it, you should even feel less gratitude. Like, you didn't do the labor. You didn't do no labor. You did the first frame, but you relied on AI to do the other frames for you. So the more I'm listening to this, the more I understand. I'm leaning more towards the perspective of you should just do it yourself, right? At least do the 4 sides, do the different angles yourself from the front view, 3/4 view, and back view. At least do that, right? And then side view, right? You got side, 3/4, back, and then side, 3/4, back, front, right? Obviously, those are the 4. Do that first. Then, if you want to like use it as reference, if you got to make like a comic book or whatever, like whatever position where you're going to be drawing the character over and over different angles, then you could probably see that again as reference. But to not do that and just go right into making a reference, that's when I'm like, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy that that's an option now. Wow.
Down the microwave trend with other people's art. Just do us all a favor and don't call yourself an artist anymore since you prefer to be a hi bro. Thanks.
Funny how a video calling out artists for using AI also happened to use AI for the narration. A bit of a food for thought kind of situation here. Someone in the comments tried calling out the artist who made the video for also using AI to make the microwave trend, but the artist shut that down in the blink of an eye, explaining that drawing the turnaround by hand and using AI to animate it were not the same thing in any way, shape, or form. I mean, just take a look at this.
Oh god. And it has no soul too, you know, like it just looks like one of those like video games, but it has no soul at all. Like you can just see it and be like, like you just turned something that had a soul and now it has no soul because AI, you allowed AI to take it and then turn it into something that, oh yeah, it's 3D, but it's hollow.
It just reeks of AI, and to be honest, I don't think it even is a really good animation at all. The background just makes the whole thing look wonky and the character looks incredibly terrible. Look how flat it looks from the side. It's as if the AI forgot that hair has volume and isn't just flat like a piece of cloth. The ears also look so weird, especially when the character turns to the side. And you can tell the AI has problems filling in the details in some parts of the ear, which is why it ended up looking funny. Someone literally said, "Don't let this trend die," as if the animations even made any sense. Now let's compare that to an actual character turnaround by an artist.
Night and day. Night and day. This is why I say that like human beings are still way more advanced than AI because there's a human touch to it. The amount of level of detail that we can cognitively articulate, AI just can't, right? No matter how much of faster AI is, again, it is a microwave. Like it's just night and day compared to McDonald's to a 5-star or 3 Michelin star restaurant. Like you cannot compare the two.
You can see how each form has so much volume
Spent
and every
50
part
hours
of the
drawing
character
that.
feels so much more three-dimensional than the animations that were made with AI. Aside from the turnaround having less frames since it's hand-drawn, every other thing looks great. But unfortunately for the artist who posted this video, people started making fun of them in the comments, telling them no one cares how many hours it took to make the animation, and even saying the dreaded word.
Who actually asked for this? Keyboard warriors, you gotta love them. Sorry, I forgot to ask for your permission. I will never do it again. Okay. Sarcasm.
Who asked? Why do you get so angry about no AI, and what do you want? Do you want me to applaud you? Just assume that it's easier to use AI, and if some artists want to use it,
and those are the same people who are either lazy or don't have the skills, and that's why they're talking like this.
There's nothing wrong with it. You wasted 50 hours on something you can make automatically, but AI can do it faster and a bit better, no hate. Am I missing something here? Yes, my good sir. You in fact are missing something. Frankly, you're missing everything. Artists never claimed to be perfect and never wanted to make a perfect animation.
And that's the point. The human touch is not perfect. You know, even our face is not perfectly symmetrical. That's the beauty of it. It's not meant to be mathematically perfect. We can create that, but we can also do imperfections. And that's the beauty. Human beings are attracted to that type of deliverables, that type of work of art, that we deliver to clients or personal work. But when you have something where it's so gun-ho on the tool, that's when things shatter. It's like it lose the value. Oh, I could do this in 5 seconds. So if you could do something in 5 seconds, what's the point of paying them, right? If you could do it yourself, what's the point of paying? When you want to show appreciation and pay for someone's talent, is because they have the hand, they have the touch, they got something that's special, that's one of a kind. Like our handprint, our fingerprint, no one could replace that. It's one of a kind. Your DNA is one of a kind. And that translates towards anything that you do. If you're going to say that, then you might as well just work hard and develop a robot to replace LeBron James in terms of basketball, or replace any popular football player, right? That becomes boring. If everyone utilize AI, it lowers down the creativity. Everything becomes the same. And if everything becomes the same, then nothing is special and nothing is unique, and there's no value at all. This is why you can have microwave products that don't taste good. No one cares about it. But guess what? There will still be a 3 Michelin star restaurant that people are willing to pay thousands and thousands of dollars. Why? Because of the art, because of the amount of labor, of love that people are attracted to with the human touch.
With everything looking accurate down to a T, we're human and we make mistakes. These mistakes are what makes our art unique and look the way it does. And that is precisely where AI fails. It can't think like a human artist, therefore it can't make the same choices we do when we draw. It doesn't have emotions behind the art. And artists are not giving that up for anything.
There's no emotion. It's like you see all the same type of AI. Look at that. There's nothing unique about that. It has the same vision, the same motion. It's all mathematically a plug-in. The same thing over and over. Nothing unique.
And said AI can do it faster and better is just totally ridiculous, because 1, I don't really think it looks better. Do you? And 2, just because it was done faster doesn't automatically make it better. I'd rather spend more time making something I'm proud of for myself than typing a few words just because it'll make the process faster. It's so funny how
imagine if you show that to someone, right? You make the original character design, but you put that in the plugin. Someone's like, wow, that looks really cool. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I know it looks cool. Yeah. So talk to me. How did you make this? I did the original, but I used a plugin. Used a 3D plugin. Yeah, 3D plugin. Oh, so wait a minute. So you didn't make this 3D at all? It was just a plugin? Yeah. It was a plugin. Yeah. I just used a plugin, because I don't do 3D. So with my character, I just did a plugin. So that's how it came out like this. Wow. AI is really getting good, huh? Not you, but AI technology. I got to give high praise to AI technology. Wow. Look at how it did all that 3D rendering. Yeah, but I made this. No, AI made this. You just did 1 frame. AI did the rest. But you ain't gonna give me credit? No, I'm gonna give AI credit, not you. You didn't do the 3D. You just did the 2D. 2D or not 2D? That is the question. Like, seriously, like, that's literally the outcome. You ain't gonna feel proud of it, I know this is jumping on a different tangent, but like, let's say, for example, like, I cut my own hair, right? I cut my hair all the time, right? I feel more like I did it. I feel more like not just pride, but I feel the ownership. Like, I made this. I shaped this up. I cut my hair all the time, right? Now, if I went to the barbershop, somebody saw me with a fresh cut, they're like, yo, that's a fresh cut, man. I'm like, yeah, I appreciate it, man. And then what's the next thing I'm going to most likely say? Yo, my barber. What does that show? The barber takes the credit. You don't. You're just the subject. The barber did all the work. That's the same thing with AI in layman's terms. AI did all the work. You didn't. And like I said before, if you did the character design, but you use the AI as a background and it's blurred, that's fair use. That's fine, right? But if the hierarchy is the cornerstone of it is the character that's in 3D and is showing all of that, AI did all that work. You didn't do the 3D. So keep that in mind.
Many people were standing in and claiming the AI looks good and using AI is cool, but literally just a few weeks ago, Ross Draws was called out for using AI and has been in the hot waters of internet debate ever since. Fellow YouTube yapper Catliente has made 2 good videos talking about the Ross Draws situation, keeping us up to date with the controversy and how it has been unfolding. It's so sad seeing artists you looked up to who inspired you to make art and create something you love getting called out for promoting the use of generative imagery. Truly disappointing seeing it unfold. For the rest of you who haven't heard or aren't aware of the situation, be sure to check out Catliente's video after watching this one.
Yeah, she's known for like calling people out for utilizing AI. So if you haven't seen her channel, I recommend it as well.
A bit to battle the microwave art trend and the artists who were using generative imagery for their videos, TikTok artists started a new trend of making the same microwave animation videos with their art, but only posting animations drawn by hand.
I'm going to show you guys how my style went from this to this. All I had to do was fill out a style.
All I do is just fill out the skip.
A lot of people in the comments who were,
I don't have the skills, then maybe just don't do the trend perhaps. Then it said art was one of my biggest passions in 2019 to 2020. I was inspired every day by what people created. Now I have to second guess what was created by an actual artist and what isn't. That is pretty sad, actually. That is pretty sad. You know what? Just inspire yourself, man. Just inspire yourself and don't always look up to people on the highest pedestal. I don't even look up to people, honestly. I mean, I can be inspired by their actual work of art, but not fully invested in like everything they do is spectacular. I wish it could be him or her. Like, nah, not on that level.
also interested in learning how to animate their characters but had no idea how to draw all the angles or how to animate, started leaving comments looking for tips on how to go about making a turnaround for themselves. And even I myself don't even know how to animate. I found this helpful tutorial by artist Bailey on TikTok that shows how to make a simple turnaround in easy steps for all the noobs like myself to animate something by themselves for the first time.
Muhammad is being so modest. If you ever see his work of art, he is far from a noob. He's modest. A lot of artists are modest, but he's up there. He's up there. He's official.
How I make turnarounds for my characters. I start off by designing the character I want to turn around. It usually helps if this is a 3/4 view, which is between front and side view where you no longer can see one of the ears. I start out really rough, and once I have shapes I like, I start doing clean line work. There are 2 ways I create accurate turnarounds for characters. The first is drawing on a new layer directly on top of your initial design. Since I'm starting with the front view, I want to use the symmetry tool. I'll turn off this tool once I have to draw anything that is not symmetrical on the character. I'll repeat this with a new layer for each pose I need. The second way is to create horizontal lines at all the key features of your character: the eye level, head level, shoulder level.
We gotta move on. Again, I'm gonna put the original video in the description below for those people out there who are interested in learning to draw in different angles. So let's continue.
Try it out for yourself and let us know in the comments how easy it was. That is, if you intend to participate in the microwave art trend, or maybe you're just trying to learn how to animate for the first time. AI harms the environment and takes money away from people who invested time and money to make an informational website, as now those people will have fewer people visiting their website, and the way it speaks is most likely stolen information from human interactions online. Kai probably collects data from stories to develop bots with personalities. AI is so unethical. As it's more recent, it's not regulated yet. For me, I never hated AI. I disliked it for taking artist motivation for drawing or creating, but as it's just spinning, it actually helped me with different parts of my OC. At this point, it's clearly obvious that AI has become a huge problem in the art community, especially on TikTok, to the point where artists are genuinely looking for every valid excuse under the sun to use AI for their work without facing the consequences of backlash on the internet. People making excuses of...
And I just thought about this. Another thing that's, oh man, concept artists is going to get really hurt. Because concept artists, this is what they do. They draw different, character designs from different angles, 3/4 view and all that stuff, right? So imagine with this, I wouldn't be surprised either. A lot of gaming industries are going to utilize this as a tool. And that's going to make original concept artists going to be like, nah, I don't want to use this as a tool. Okay, then we're going to replace you with someone who is, right? And it's going to force them to adapt. Or B, they're just going to get to the point where it's like, we don't even need an actual artist to do concept art. We could just have a prompter. And now with the prompter, it makes it easier because now they could do spinning 3-dimensional views and capture those. Wow. Like I said, I feel sorry for concept artists, man, and other, art occupations in the industry.
Using AI because it helped them with their art and somehow managed to make them improve is just so confusing to me. I thought the normal way everyone improved was by actually studying from life and using references from photos.
And even with that 3/4 view that the person actually drew by hand, and the side view, it's much more of a better illustration than what AI created, right? So the top one is AI. And then the bottom one is what they drew, right? Again, I know it's a hot take. I don't find this to be repulsive, you shouldn't do this. However, I think what I find more repulsive is for the people who are not using it as reference. It's for people who just say, hey, this is my finished work of art, right? This to me, I can tolerate, this doesn't bother me as much, honestly.
Photographs. When did we start using AI as reference? Y'all understand this is why AI art was made. It was made for references and for artists to visualize what they want to draw to get better, not to generate an image and then slap their name on it. I don't agree with this argument. Before there was AI, there was a beautiful thing called concept art, which was a way for artists to visualize an idea of what they wanted to draw in its rough early stages before then proceeding to...
And this is why concept artists, this is going to take another hit, I'm telling you.
And paint a final version of the character or background or whatever it is they were trying to create. Artists were able to pull ideas and references from different movies, historical photos, and pictures of different things and put them all together in a reference board when creating a character, basically placing all the elements in their imagination into actual photos and drawing from them. Using AI literally takes away that entire process and instead spits out a rather convoluted mashup version of all the references into one image using the style of 12 other artists it has stolen from. That is, aside from the images looking insanely stiff.
Okay, so let's talk.
Yup, that's the law of diminishing return. You want something quick, it's like he just said, gonna take it from other artists, and it's just gonna there's no life to it. No life.
About AI art and why exactly it's so bad. So if you're familiar with the concept of AI, you probably understand that artificial intelligence can't really generate anything on its own. It can't generate its own original thoughts or its own original ideas. AI is basically trained to behave a certain way by feeding it a database of information. And this database teaches AI how to act. So when it comes to AI art generators like, say, Midjourney, these art generators have been fed databases of billions of pieces of artwork and work from artists that did not consent to have their artwork fed into these AI art generators. Many of these generators were then advertised as free ways to recreate the work of many prolific artists. So for example, people could generate fake screenshots from fake Studio Ghibli movies, or, enter in a prompt like Victorian woman with black hair and a feathered hat and generate that in the Studio Ghibli art style. The problem is, of course, both in a social way, people are seeing fake images of things they do not know were not actually drawn by that artist. You can see how that could could get very bad. If someone, say, generated an offensive or derogatory image in a certain artist's art style and people believed that was really drawn by that artist. And then the second is that that's plagiarism, that's art theft, and it's not okay.
I think this video from Jade totally sums up all the reasons why artists are advocating against the use of AI art for actual jobs, and how art made by generative images can potentially harm artists in the long run. If you're not even aware, an entire art school was caught using AI for one of their student projects.
And we went over that, by the way. If you haven't seen it, go check it out.
And even having AI art as a standalone course in their syllabus. I made an entire video talking about this, so you should definitely go check that out if you weren't even aware of the situation. I think artists using the microwave trend to practice drawing their own.
And this right here is a gateway drug, if you think about it, because the moment artists are going to be utilizing this to make it easier, then eventually it's going to diminish their creativity, diminish even the labor of drawing anything. It's just going to become, you're going to become like non-artists, right? Who are using the prompts to produce deliverables, right? So that's going to become the case, unfortunately. And then what's going to happen is that when things become faster, then the value diminishes more. So then if you can't make a work of art in 2 seconds with prompting, then you could be replaced by somebody else. See, this is why it's a big issue, because at least when it was doing things traditional from beginning to the end, there was more value, and they understand that it takes time to make it. Once this stuff is out where it only takes a few seconds, then they'll rather hire that person who is faster at prompting than an actual artist who can actually build and create art from scratch. That's the biggest problem we're dealing with. So, like I said, this is pretty much the gist of this video, right? Let me know what you guys think down below. Also, guys, see, this is not AI right here, people, right? This is actually made through Adobe Illustrator, all right? So, if you're interested in any characters that you guys want me to design in the future, put that in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. All right, people? Bye-bye.